Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's July the 22nd, 2024. Gonna do a little garden update. Buster's not down here with me today. I came down here a little earlier for my morning walk. And I left my camera up there, so had to go back up there and get it. He went back to the house. And he's just sitting up there on the porch relaxing right now. He wallered in the dirt, and Mama won't let him back in the house, so my wife won't let him back in the house. So he's just sitting up there relaxing. He didn't run down here with me this go round. Well, all right, let's do our little garden update real quick. It shouldn't take too long. Really all we got left is our okra. Our squash down there, I'm kind of letting it go to seed. The cucumbers, I left them little old vines over on the end, but they're not making anything. So I'll probably get them 2 posts up and the rest of that wire out of the way. I pulled as many beans as I could from the bean patch over there to proceed for next year. I may walk through and see if there's anything else worth gathering, but there ain't much in that pile. Okra is just prolific. It needs picked right now. In fact, if I wait till this afternoon, some of it will be too big. Okra's just going to take off. Corn, it's just ravaged. It's just ravaged, just over with. So here in a little bit, when I get through mowing, I've been mowing. I mowed yesterday, but I left a streak here, a little streak over there I didn't get done, so I'm gonna it won't take 30 minutes to mow this. May go mow around the pond some. All this rain we've been having, it's showing up and growing. Sunflowers over there, they're looking pretty. I got a beautiful picture of my wife and grandbaby standing in front of one of them yesterday. I think it's this big one down here. I'm gonna zoom in on these things. I think sunflowers are so pretty. Now, they're nothing like last year's. Now, last year I had one that come up, it's probably 7-8 feet tall and huge. And then there's that pretty one too. See if we can get us a nice sunflower in here. Yeah. Whoa. This one here, it's just kind of leaned on over. And looks like it's got quite a few seeds in there. So I'll be getting that head pretty quick. Try to save some of these seeds for next year. There's one hadn't even opened up yet. Well, all right. I wanted to see the sunflowers. They're pretty. Didn't take care of them like I should have. And here's the first. And I didn't even realize this till just the other day when I found a pear out in the middle of the field. I thought, where did it come from? This little old pear tree actually has some pears on it this year. And these have been in the ground for 5 or 6 years, and this is the first year they have ever produced pears. I doubt I'll get enough off of them to make anything, but I think it's still kind of neat that they finally produced. And I believe what the issue is, like this year, these things bloomed out. There were, it was covered with little tiny pears, maybe the size of a dime. And then we had a late frost. And it just, it dropped every one of them. Every one of them just dried up and died. But anyways, I thought that was kind of neat. We'll take a little walk through our orchard. One of my next things is I gotta get these things pruned up a little bit. I see Rotern don't do well under here. All these limbs sticking out. I don't know about these plums. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there were 10 of them, if I'm not mistaken. But then this little old blight here got a hold of them. That right there, that kind of stuff got a hold of them. And just killed a bunch of them. I pruned these two back. And here's a peach that's grew up right beside my plum. I guess cause a squirrel come over here, left the plums off the peach seed in the ground. And that's the only peaches I've managed to grow this year. There was some on another tree, but they done dropped. Apple tree. Now that's probably a couple of pretty good apples right there. These are not, you know, they're not the best apples in the world. Kind of more of a crab apple than anything. I come over here and pull them off, pick them off the ground, such as that. I go feed them to chickens. Chickens seem to like pecking on them. Blueberries is gone. But yet, I'm sitting here looking at new growth. But I just don't think, I don't know what I have to see, but I couldn't imagine another harvest coming in. And this one's still got a lot on it, but they're not amounting to anything. Same thing with this one here. But as a rule, the blueberries are gone. All the peach trees I planted, that's the only one that's really turned out to be a reasonably pretty tree. This one, another one grew up beside it. I think the one that grew up beside it's better looking than the one that I planted. I don't know. That would never amounted to nothing. I got to do some work in the orchard. I'm gonna plant me some more peaches and some more plums. I've always wanted grapes, but I've tried to plant them 2 or 3 times. Just had never got anywhere with them. I guess they alive for a long time. Just don't seem like they ever do much. The woods around here is full of muscadine vines. I've tried to tame a couple of them, but birds end up getting everything. All right, we've made a pretty good little old walk right here. Well, today I'm gonna finish mowing this grass. I think I'm gonna put the bush hog on the back of the Kubota, go ahead and just mow the corn down. I'm not gonna do what I did on this other corn patch. That was just way too much work. I'm just gonna mow it down, let it deteriorate, and then maybe we'll disc it under it later. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get that cucumber out of the ground. It's not gonna do anything. Yeah, it's not producing nothing. Squash, I'm just letting it go to seed. We just got some huge old squash, and I'm gonna see if I can get some of those out of there. Clean them out and let the seeds dry. Get me a good seed harvest for next year. All in all, it's been a pretty decent growing season. Beans didn't do well. The Jimmy Red didn't do well. But surprisingly, the sweet corn made a little bit. Okra, it's gonna do good. Let's go over to the motor patch, see what we got over there. All right, hello everybody. We over here at the motor patch now, pepper patch. Tomatoes is doing real well. I just picked this big old beauty off there. That's a nice one. And these little Gardener's Delight, they're just amazing. They just make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes, and there's no disease issue with them. The big boys, they're doing well. They're making just beautiful tomatoes. This is one of those, I think they call it Brandy Boys. I have to get down and look at the tag. I don't know, they make a big old huge tomato. And they're pretty. But I don't particularly like how the meat of them are on the inside. They're kind of hard. But you know, they're making beautiful tomato and it tastes good. But anyways, peppers is doing great. Just some big old huge peppers. I picked 2 bucketfuls of peppers yesterday. and nowhere near picked them all. I got to get down here today and pick them. Here's something kind of interesting. That is just a pineapple, just the tops off a pineapple that I had left over, and I thought, well, I'm gonna go stick it some dirt and see what happens. Well, they're still alive, so we'll go from there. But yeah, we had a bunch of tomatoes up there on the counter where I'd picked them, and they'd sit up there and gotten ripe, real ripe. I had to give a bunch of them away, but still had just a whole counter full. So we made salsa. We ended up making 7 jars of salsa, and done that Saturday. My wife and I eat one whole jar yesterday. But anyways, it was pretty good stuff. Anyways, I liked it. I got a little old salsa recipe. It's, you know, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just basically just peppers and bell and jalapeno and onions and tomatoes and a little cumin and a little cilantro and you know, salt and pepper to taste. And you know, to me, the biggest thing with sauce is, how do you want it? Do you want it chunky? All right, well, that just all depends on what you do over there in the food processor. You know, lightly chop it, it'll be chunky. You can process it until it's just, you know, just a sauce almost. We kind of know where we want it, so we go to that point. And then we cook it until it's soft but not mushy. So anyways, that's kind of how we make it. Works out good for us. We seem to like it. It's about, I made it last year, and I made 2 batches last year, and we made these 7 jars this year. And to me, although it's the same identical recipe, it never really tastes the same. And I guess it has a lot to do with the tomatoes I'm using. And I guess everything, but anyways. Well, all right, let me get busy. That's the garden update today. And we fixing to get on the mower, mow some grass, get on the tractor, cut some corn down, you know, work on the boats a little bit, clean up around here. It's the gardening season is over. It did get 3 more barrels yesterday, so I'm gonna start cutting some barrels in half. See if I can make me some more planters. If I can get me some more planters, I got a few things I want to plant just in those tubs. They seem to be the ticket. Well, anyways, that's enough blabbing. Let me get busy and we'll catch you on the next one.